Weird News Weekly with Ben and Reid.
It is that time once again, time for another episode of Weird News Weekly. My name is Ben Rogers, this guy's name is Reid Marnie. How's it going, Reid?
Ben, I'm a little bit under the pump. I'm checking cricket scores, I'm checking basketball scores, I'm multitasking, I'm doing it all tonight. And also, in the middle of all that, I'm doing a podcast with you.
Yeah.
So it's all about multitasking tonight. How about you? How are you?
I'm going to try and just leave my phone over there as much as I can, considering our basketball team is playing tonight. We're playing against the top team at the moment, and it's just kind of like, I really want to check the scores, but I know if I do check the scores, it'll disrupt the podcast, and I can't do that to it. So
I'm one of those people who doesn't want to jinx it, so I'm not going to watch the score at all. So
Yeah.
it's in the corner as well.
Well, of course, if you want to follow along with the show, you can do so in the form of heading to our Twitter account, at Weird News Weekly on Twitter. You'll find all the links to the stories that we're talking about right throughout the show, all right there. And of course, listening to and watching the show, you can do so on iTunes, Stitcher, and Soundcloud. Rate, review, and subscribe in all those areas right there. Plus on YouTube, just search Weird News Weekly in all those areas, and you can either listen to or watch our smiling faces and hear our dulcet tones, as they say in the industry. But Reid, as far as weird news is concerned, what do you got for us for this week, mate?
A woman over in the UK has sent her parents at her previous school a bill because apparently her little daughter's shoes got a bit damaged, and she sent a bill for them to get fixed, and the amount is quite large, and she's also got a bit of form as well, this woman, for appearing in the spotlight a bit too negatively, shall I say. So we'll talk more about her very soon. And also, we are only in January, and of course it is tradition now that Boxing Day, the day after Christmas, the hot cross buns come out, and we all get annoyed every year. Well, there's also been another Easter egg. We all like our Easter eggs. The creme egg from Cadbury, very popular. It's a tradition amongst many households. Well, they're releasing a new product, and a lot of people are actually really happy about it. There's been very little negative comments. It's very happy news. So, yay. What about you? What stories have you got for us this week?
Well, I have a story about a guy from Glasgow, Scotland. He's woken up one morning and he's found himself to have black feet. And he's not a dark-skinned guy. He's a white guy from Scotland. So how did he get black feet? Well, you'll find out a little bit later on. As well as that, I'm going to start things off, Reid, with a story about Monopoly. Now, I don't know if you've heard about this one, but there is a lot of stuff going on in the world of Monopoly at the moment, as they're set to release some new game pieces that you can play Monopoly with. And it's causing a little bit of controversy with people, because they've actually said here that the current 8 pieces, the Scotty Dog, the top hat, the car, the thimble, the boot, the wheelbarrow, the battleship, and the cat, are not safe in the voting.
Why not?
Because they could be replaced by something else.
Oh, seriously?
But there actually is conflicting stories here, because the news reports that I've watched have said the pieces aren't safe, everything can change. And then there are other news outlets in written form saying, they're safe, those ones are fine, we're just looking to add more pieces.
For a second there, when you said not safe, I thought, what do you mean, not safe for children to eat, or not safe for adults to be playing with?
Well, basically what's going on here, and it's kind of weird that these two things have come up in the same article. The article that I have here says the pieces are 100% safe and they're going to add new pieces. But then the news article video that I watched said that none of these pieces are safe and they could get replaced by another piece. So I'm wondering who's actually right in this situation here. But I've got a couple of sound bites here from a news report from, I think it was NBC 10. A guy by the name of Matt Reid, he got really overly excited about this whole thing. Have a listen.
Today we'll vote on whether or not to keep the original pieces or replace them with brand new ones like a penguin, T-Rex, or roller skate, and even a bunny slipper, slice of bread, and emoji.
So there's some of the things that could be replacing the pieces in there. You've got things like emojis, a dinosaur, a hashtag, a flip-flop, a TV, or an early 1990s style cell phone. But one of the things that I love the most about the way this guy was reporting, it seemed like he was so disgusted as soon as he said the word emoji. Have a listen.
An emoji. An emoji. An emoji.
An emoji. How dare they? Those bastards.
I'm sure people like on the TV show 24 might use that as a way of trying to get information out of the terrorists. All right, we're going to say this word over and over, and over time you'll hate it. Ooh, I don't like that word anymore. I'm going to give you the information just because I don't want to hear that word anymore.
It's kind of like that episode of How I Met Your Mother where Barney's just going, moist, moist. Moist.
An emoji. An emoji. An emoji.
Yeah, I can. He really must hate emojis.
But what's going on here with Monopoly? It's a Rhode Island-based game maker. Everyone's probably heard of them before. They're called Hasbro. And they've started this thing up at votemonopoly.com, and you can vote for the new pieces that are going to become part of the game. So it's all about us voting for them as the people who like to play Monopoly. And we have until January 31st to get our votes in, and then it'll all be revealed on March 19 for World Monopoly Day. I didn't realise that that was even a thing.
I am with you on that one, my friend. I had not heard of that at all.
Apparently around the world, on March 19th, we celebrate World Monopoly Day.
Can you imagine? There must be just hordes of people who love this day every year. It gives them so much joy, and we just don't even know it existed.
Now, there is a little bit more that goes along with this. Obviously, there was a change previously with Monopoly. They actually had the thimble in there, and the thimble actually got replaced, and that was when the cat came in. And Matt Reid's little section of this whole thing continues.
This is not the first time Pawtucket-based Hasbro has changed the 81-year-old game. In 2013, the game got rid of the iron and replaced it with a cat. So does that spell doom for the shoe and give hope for the horse?
So does that spell doom for the shoe and give hope for the horse? Dun dun dun!
He's a bit dramatic, this guy.
I know! He's like, he's going into this like 5 people are dead and they're searching for other victims.
He's probably given the dud news report on the day and thought, you know what, I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to make this so dramatic. It's going to be the first news on the story tonight.
It's going to be my name up in lights, people. You're going to see me.
Oh, man. But, I mean, Monopoly's been going around for a very long time now. I mean, I wouldn't even know how long, but, I mean, surely it's been one of the longest serving board games in history, surely.
Well, up in the cupboard behind me, I actually have 2 versions of the Monopoly game. I have a Nintendo Monopoly, and I also have an original Monopoly game, like the board game from back in like the 50s, I believe it was.
Wow.
Because it used to belong to my grandparents. My grandparents gave it to my dad, and now my dad's just gone, here, have an original game of Monopoly. So it's kind of, tattered and overly used, so it's probably not worth anything, but, it's one of the original ones from back in the day.
Jeez, wow, I had no idea that you would sort of even... look, we all get so obsessed with technology and iPads and that sort of thing. To have an old board game sitting around the house, I think it's pretty cool. I like that.
Actually, speaking of old board games, there was a game that I'd never actually heard of before that my fiance's mum actually had. It's called Pan America. Have you heard of that one before?
Not heard of it at all.
It's a really basic game, right? And all you have to do is, it shows a whole flight pattern that this company, Pan America, flies to around the world. And you're given a dice, a marker that represents you around this world map, and you get, I think it's 6 destinations, and you have to start in Melbourne or Sydney, and then use the dice to move a space at a time and fly around the world in the quickest way to your destinations that you've got on your cards and knock them out periodically. And once you've knocked them all out, make your way back to Australia again, and then you've won the game if you get there first. And it might not sound like it's all that fun, but it actually really was. At first we were just like, oh, really? Pan America? This game's from the 70s. It sounds terrible. And then we played it and we're just like, this thing is flippin' awesome.
It sounds like you're trying to explain golf. It's boring to watch, but it's fun to play.
Exactly. You get to whack the crap out of a really hard ball that could hurt someone at the other end.
I like it.
But as far as, Monopoly pieces are concerned, we've got new chances of emojis, a dinosaur, hashtag, all that kind of stuff. I'll actually go to the Vote Monopoly page right now and see if I can get some exact ones that they have on there. Whoa, it's telling me to... Yep, next. Okay, sure. It's screaming in my ears right now. So what's going on here? We've got the cat, we've got the dog, we've got the ship, we've got all the normal ones. You can vote in a Vespa scooter. You can vote in some sunglasses, a hashtag, a typewriter, a surfboard, a sailing boat, a trumpet, an old school computer. There's a T-Rex, like a literal T-Rex.
I like it.
You got a beach ball. You got roller skates. You got an old school camera, a normal motorbike, a plane. What else we got? An emoji, a thumbs up icon thing like on Facebook.
Naturally.
And I just can't handle this anymore because that music is just way too loud anyway. But those are some of the pieces. I know you guys couldn't hear that music, but it was blaring into my headphones right there. You might have heard it, kind of seeping out of my headphones in the background. But yeah, those are some of the pieces that you can vote for in the new Monopoly right there. So if you want to head along to votemonopoly.com, you have until January 31st. Now, Reid, if there was any kind of Monopoly piece that you would like to see actually happen, what would you like to see put in there?
Oh, modern times. I would like to see a hipster, long beard, with a jam jar full of, some sort of drink and, a bit of kale in one other hand. I reckon that would be the inclusion of the decade. But what about you?
Bow tie, skinny leg. Bow tie with skinny leg jeans and suspenders.
Oh, yeah, now you're on the money. I like it.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'd like to just see some simple stuff in there. Something like a basketball, maybe. Obviously, I'm a huge basketball fan, but just something like a basketball would be kind of cool just to move around the board. And you'd be like, hey, I'm a basketball franchise, yo. That's how rich I am that I can buy all this real estate.
Oh, damn. I like it.
All right, I reckon that would make things very interesting. But we'd like to know as well, what would you guys like to see as a Monopoly piece? If it's something that's not included at votemonopoly.com, let us know your thoughts. You can either reply to our tweets, reply in the comments here on YouTube. You can reply in the comments and stuff on Soundcloud, wherever you like. Let us know what kind of pieces you would like added to Monopoly, and head to votemonopoly.com and you can vote for all the different pieces right now that you'd like to see in there on World Monopoly Day. Once again, didn't know it was a thing on March 19. But if you want to read more about this story, at Weed News Weekly on Twitter is where you'll find all the details. And we move on to the next. What do you got for us, Reid?
Well, I'm the first to admit I know very little, if anything, about fashion.
Okay.
Ben, you know this about me. Pretty much every day of the year, I'll wear an AC/DC t-shirt, pair of jeans. I may look like a bogan. I may get referred to as a bogan, but that's my look. I'm not a fashionable kind of guy. Well, over in the UK, a woman who describes herself as a fashion stylist, she goes by the name of Sarah Louise Bryan. Now, she has a daughter, a 3-year-old, by the name of Isabella.
Yep.
She came home one day with, get this, scuffed, drawn-on Italian boots.
Oh.
Wow. So apparently these shoes are worth quite a bit, and I've seen the photos, which I'll put on our Twitter account for you to look at. Mm-hmm. They're pretty... They don't look like they're expensive, but apparently they are. Now, what's happened here is, as I said, she's brought home the shoes, and they look a little bit wrecked, a little bit drawn on. Well, the mother isn't happy about this at all, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
But instead of just, maybe getting a bit of polish or some sort of cloth to get it all off, she's sent the parents of the girl that she was having a play date with a bill.
Oh, wow.
Now, that's pretty dramatic. I mean, to get a bill drawn up and to clean it and to actually think they're going to pay it is a bit much already. But this is where it gets a little bit weird. The bill is for £325, which in Australia works out to be about $590.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money just for a couple of
goodness.
kids' shoes because they've been a bit scuffed and a bit drawn on.
For starters, why is a kid wearing a pair of shoes that cost that much in the first place, especially if they're going over to one of their friends' houses for a play date? They're going to get dirty. They're going to go crazy. They're going to, be playing around doing stuff. Why would you make them wear £350 shoes?
Well, this is a question that a lot of people have been asking, and obviously the fact is you're wearing expensive clothing, but clothing that is probably way more than I've ever worn. I mean, I can't imagine wearing those kind of shoes worth that kind of money. I mean, my runners are about $40, $50 max, and, that's enough for me. Mm-hmm. £325 shoes. Anyway, what's happened is she has been taken to town on this because a lot of people are saying it's a bit pretentious, it's a bit la-di-da.
Yeah.
Well, the mother of the girl that she was having a play date with She has responded to all of this because she's been the one to look after little Isabella with her daughter as well. And she has said, quote, "She must have more money than sense if she's going to pay that much for a pair of shoes for her daughter and then complain when they get ruined. Kids are kids. They get messy. They ruin things. That's life." Well done.
Yep. Well done indeed.
Because, I mean, if you get a bill for that kind of money because your daughter's, friend has wrecked her shoes a little bit, you're not going to pay any bill. I mean, a bill worth hundreds of pounds of dollars is quite extravagant.
I did read into this a little bit. I didn't, read a heap of it because it just sounded really ridiculous that this lady was, expecting this to happen in the first place. But she said something along the lines of it would be disgusting to her if her daughter walked out of the house in anything less than her best shoes and looked fantastic at all times. Something like that. If she didn't look fantastic, then there was no point in leaving the house.
Well, I guess it's the problem when your parent is a fashion stylist.
Yeah.
And for those who aren't watching it on YouTube, I am using the air quotation marks when I say fashion stylist.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen I don't know if you've seen what the mother looks like, Ben, but she's got purple hair.
Yeah. I did see, because she ended up on a TV show, didn't she? And she was crying on there.
Yeah, she ended up on a TV show over in the UK. She was talking to a guy by the name of Piers Morgan. He's a very well-known character. He's a little bit known for his controversial views, and he sort of says it for how it is. So I guess he's the UK's version of Donald Trump. So he has been, giving her a bit of crap, shall I say, for allowing this sort of daughter to be wearing expensive clothes and for deeming to pay for the clothes. Piers Morgan has taken her to town. Now, the mother, she has been claiming that she's been getting a lot of social media abuse for all these comments, and that's to be expected. And the one thing I've always had issue with that sort of comment or that sort of statement is you don't have to check your social media accounts.
Yeah.
You can turn them off. You can even delete all the apps off your phone. You don't actually have to check it. But I've got a feeling she thrives on the social media stuff. And I wouldn't be surprised if she's the kind of person who's going to milk this for all it's worth. She's going to be appearing on many talk shows. She's going to be answering the phone to anybody that calls her for an interview. So I reckon we haven't seen the last of this woman. Now, this is where I think it's a bit interesting because this isn't the first time we've actually heard of Sarah Bryan. She actually made a dress back in 2016. Now, a dress isn't that extravagant, but she made a dress from 3,000 Skittles.
Oh.
And apparently
I'm going to have to look this up.
I did as well because I had no idea this was even a thing. It's like your previous story about Monopoly. There's a day devoted to Monopoly. I had no idea. Same for this sort of stuff. So there's a dress she made, and it's sort of kind of a bit famous. If we can remember Lady Gaga, she had that meat dress. Well, apparently that's what inspired her to create this sort of Skittle dress. It's got nothing but Skittles on it. Mm-hmm. It's a weird thing. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to be wearing that on a really hot summer's day because that'd be really sticky and a lot of birds would be coming up to you every single minute.
Actually, I'm getting two things here. When I go to Google Images and type in Skittles dress, I'm getting a lot of pictures of the Skittles dress that she created. I'm also getting one chick that's in a Skittles bikini and it just looks odd.
Ooh.
It just looks really odd.
Nah.
Yeah,
no, not even going to look. Not even going to.
A couple of other people have made dresses out of empty Skittles packets, but nothing quite as full on as this edible Skittles dress that this lady has made here.
Oh, what is wrong with people? Why did they think that's going to be a good idea? I'm going to create a Skittles dress and I'll get famous. No, you won't.
I don't know. I just can't get past the fact that you're so into fashion that you can't let your daughter go out to a play date in just, tracksuit pants and a t-shirt just so she can run around and play with her friends and, be a kid, go crazy a little bit. But you have to put her in these ridiculously priced shoes, this fancy looking fluffy dress that she's wearing as well. It's like, oh yes, you're here for your play date. Fancy. You're just going to sit on the couch and do nothing all the time because goodness knows we can't wreck anything.
No, I mean, life today is so much different than what it was for our youth.
Yeah.
We were able to run around and do things and be silly. Parents don't want that anymore. They just want to control their kids to be ridiculous people. And I have a feeling the youth of today, when they get to the teens, good luck, parents, because that's what it's really like to be a parent, not having the control over being little Johnny or little, Isabella or whatever. you've got to make sure that when they get older, that's the real fun stuff. I'm sure a lot of parents are really dreading the teenage years, but that's a part of having kids.
Exactly. But if you want to read more about this story, you can do so right now at the Twitter account, at Weird News Weekly on Twitter. You will find all the details about it right there. And we move on to our next story, Reid, all about a guy who's woken up in Glasgow, Scotland, and he's found that he has black feet all of a sudden. And he was wondering what on earth was going on. Now, this guy's name is Michael Honorati, and he's a Glaswegian, as they call them, people from Glasgow, Scotland. And he's just gone to bed one night, a little bit cold, so he's just, rugged himself up. In the morning, he's woken up, got out of bed, taken his socks off, I'm guessing to, get himself ready to have a shower or something like that. And he's looked down and he was like, oh my goodness, my feet are completely black. What has happened here? Now,
did he step in black paint?
No, obviously he went to bed with still white feet. So how has he woken up with black feet all of a sudden? Can you think of any kind of situation where this would happen?
Probably if you've got annoying roommates and they want to play an evil prank on you and let you believe you've got black feet.
Well, he lives with his wife. I'm pretty sure that's the only person he lives with. He doesn't mention any kids or anything like that. But it says that he woke up on Tuesday to find a terrifying sight. His feet had turned black. He posted a photo of his blackened feet on the Lad Bible Facebook page, and he wrote, I woke up this morning to a black foot and thought it was old Raynaud phenomenon, referencing the short-term interruption of blood flow to his extremities. Now, I'm not sure what this thing actually is. I don't even know if I'm saying that properly. Raynaud phenomenon, Raynaud, Raynaud. But apparently it's something that stops the blood flow to your extremities, and it can make your, feet or hands or whatever kind of turn a blackish colour. So he thought maybe this is what it actually was. Now, Reid, there is a very much more simple explanation as to why his feet were turned black. Are you ready for this one?
Give it to us. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, he said that he was absolutely crapping his dax for around a half an hour. He said that's got nothing to do with it, by the way. He was crapping his dax because he was wondering why his feet had turned black, and then all of a sudden his wife has got home, walked in the door, and he was like, "What's going on? My feet are black." And she was like, "Oh, what socks did you wear to bed last night?" And he's pointed at the socks over the other side of the room, and she was like, "Yeah, those ones. I was supposed to throw those ones in the hamper because I decided to use a pair of your socks as a self-tanning applicator mitt."
The wife.
So she spent the day applying self-tanning lotion to her skin, using his socks as a mitt to massage it over her body, and then she's just thrown them across the room into the corner of the room and not put them in the hamper. And he's thought to himself, oh, a little bit cold before I go to bed, I'll chuck those socks on that are sitting right there. He's popped them on. The self-tanning lotion has settled into his skin, baked into his skin and his feet overnight, and he's woken up with ridiculously tan feet from the self-tanner.
Oh, jeez. Oh. So these socks, they wouldn't have been, wet at all when he put them on? They were just a bit damp?
Possibly just a bit damp or something. He didn't even realise, it seems. But he's woken up, taken the socks off, and there was fake tan all over his feet, and it was, pretty much black because it had a whole 8 hours, I'm guessing, of his sleep time of actually settling into his skin. But it's not even just it's not just his actual feet as well. It's also his toes. Like, it's kind of settled into his toes and almost gone underneath his toes. So now his toenails are all black basically now.
Ooh. You might have stumbled onto a bit of a medical miracle here, because people, they change their colour of their skin nowadays, which is a horrible thing. But if you can put this sort of stuff on your feet and it changes the colour of your skin, that'll cost you a bit of money if you don't want to go to hospital and get that done.
But there's two things that make this more interesting as well. One of those is that when I say feet, I actually mean foot, because she only used one of his two socks. So one foot was fine and the other one's black. So his right foot is all black and his left foot is completely normal. So it's not even like they match.
Oh, that's worse.
And even funnier, on top of that, he went back to the Lad Bible Facebook page, explained the situation, and then was bombarded by all these other people with photos that they've been in the same situation once before. You would have thought that this is just some random isolated incident, but apparently this is happening all across the world.
People just embarrassed waking up thinking, oh, what's going on here? Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Different coloured feet.
I reckon these people's wives and girlfriends need to stop using their partner's socks as fake tan applicator mitts.
Yeah, it's a bit lazy on the partners to be using their socks. I mean, surely they've got their own socks they can use. Why use the partners?
Well, they're probably just thinking it's a black sock. They won't even notice. It's, a spongy, woolly black sock. It'll just wash out later on and they won't even realise because the black goes on black and it'll be fine. But, they do notice when their feet turn black after actually wearing the sock.
Now, I know we're having a bit of a laugh here, and so we should, because this is a very funny story. But what are are there any serious health implications to putting this sort of stuff on your feet by accident?
No.
I mean, what's going to happen here?
Well, it's all safe to use on your skin, basically, because it's self-tanning.
Yeah, they're lathering their skin up in all this sort of stuff.
Yeah. And I'm guessing, because the palm of your hand, for example, would be just as sensitive almost as the skin on the bottom of your foot. And also as sensitive as the skin on your face, almost. They're all different levels of sensitivity. And if those areas can handle it, then I'm pretty sure the foot that's sitting inside your shoe and getting belted around all day, I'm pretty sure the skin on your foot will be able to handle it okay as well, even in this high concentrated dosage, it seems.
Look, points for the partner for doing tanning the smart way, not going out in the sun all day.
Yeah.
But be a little bit proactive and actually put it in a rubbish bin and maybe just take it to the rubbish bin yourself. Not wait for the husband to do it the next morning because that could be a bit awkward.
Even just, put it in the hamper, make sure it's there to wash in the next load of washing. Don't just leave it sitting in the corner of the room where he goes to himself, oh, a little bit cold before I go to bed. Let's put a pair of socks on. Those ones are handy because they're just sitting there in the corner of the room. Let's just use those.
Maybe just have two baskets, one for the socks you use for your tanning and the ones you use for regular wearing.
Oh, exactly. If you want to check out the photo, though, of his right foot being all blackened, it looks ridiculous, especially the bottom of his foot. It looks like a burnt piece of steak that you get off the barbecue or something like that. At Weird News Weekly on Twitter, you'll find the article and the pictures waiting for you right there. But Reid, we move on to our final story for the week. What do you got for us, mate?
I'm not sure if this is going to be a good little segue going from that to talking about chocolate. A very similar colour.
Perfect.
But as we all know, Easter's coming up very soon, and the argument, which I'm not going to get into because I'm so bored by it, is the whole hot cross buns argument every year. Boxing Day, oh my God, worst thing in the world, but hot cross buns are here. They're actually delicious.
Yeah.
So forget that for a second. People seem to go on and on about it. Anyway.
But have you noticed, though, just quickly, most people who are complaining about hot cross buns are doing so on social media whilst posting a photo of themselves eating hot cross buns. So it can't be that bad if they're enjoying eating them already. Just calm down, guys.
Yeah, I don't think they really get their own argument. I mean, they're paying money to complain about it. So really, point is absolutely not proven by them. So thumbs down.
Exactly.
From my point of view. No, but as we all know, we've got Easter in a few months' time, and one of the staples of Easter is the Cadbury Creme Egg. Now, over the years, this has changed a few times. It's got a little bit smaller, as has most chocolate nowadays, but they've also changed the recipe a little bit. It's still traditionally the same sort of flavour, but just a little bit different. I think a few years ago, Cadbury sort of changed the flavour and it outraged a lot of people on social media, as it always does with these things. But Cadbury have announced that they'll be adding a new addition to the Cadbury Creme Egg. They'll still be making the Cadbury Creme Egg, so that's the good news. The even better news is because Cadbury have got a bit of an association with Oreo, they're releasing an Oreo Cadbury Creme Egg.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Now, from what I understand, they're saying that it's going to be infused with Oreo cookie bits inside the actual egg. So the egg will still be the Cadbury Creme Egg. It'll have the cream, as we all know, and then it'll be infused with Oreo cookie bits.
Right.
Now, I am absolutely amazed at this because I've been going to a few supermarkets when I heard this story. Can't seem to find a damn one. And they say it's available in select supermarkets.
I heard that it was actually only, like, at the moment, they've only rolled it out to Coles Express.
Oh, the crafty buggers.
Yeah.
No wonder I can't find it. I mean, I go there to get my fuel and then get out of there.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to spend more than 2 minutes there. Okay, I'll put that on my shopping list.
Look around for your
time.
Oreo eggs next time you get your petrol in your car.
Oh, I don't like it when they say, do you want a packet of chewing gum for $2? No, I don't. I just want my fuel and then I want to go.
I can imagine the next time you go in there and they're just like, oh, would you like 2 Oreo Cadbury Creme Eggs for $5? And you just be like, yes, I would, damn it.
In frustration, yes. Why do you have to ask? I'm going to do it anyway.
You got me with your damn deals.
You know me too well. But the thing about the whole thing is, though, this has sort of come as a bit of a surprise to a lot of people. I don't know if you know this, but last year, might have been the year before, Cadbury and Oreo sort of formed a bit of a partnership, and they released these chocolate blocks with Oreo in them. Mm-hmm. And I love them.
Yep.
I still love them. I shouldn't, because that's not really good, but I do love them. And the thing about this, it's pretty good. A lot of people, usually when they release these new products, there's always the usual social media outrage and people not happy. Seems to be going the opposite way for a change. I haven't spoken about this a lot in our podcast series, but it seems that people are actually warming to the idea of a good addition, the Cadbury Oreo Creme Egg. Mm-hmm. Yay! So we're in good news.
Now, it kind of makes me wonder, though, because they've got all the different flavours of the Cadbury Creme Egg, or not the Cadbury, the Oreo chocolate block, right? They've got the vanilla, they've got the mint, and they've got the strawberry. I think it is. Are they the only 3 flavours that they've got there?
Only 3, yeah.
Will they be transferring into the Cadbury Creme Egg range as well? And will there be a vanilla, a mint, and a strawberry?
I think you're thinking way too far ahead. I mean, you've got to realise these companies are very slow at releasing any type of product whatsoever. So I reckon this will be the only form of Cadbury Creme Egg we'll ever see, the Oreo and the traditional Cadbury Creme Egg.
But apparently this isn't necessarily a new thing for certain parts of the world. This is only really a new thing for us here in Australia. Apparently over in Canada, they've been repping this for quite a while.
Well, usually we're the trendsetter for a lot of these things, but unfortunately we're the last ones. We're not the guinea pigs. No, we're just the ugly little duckling in the corner of the room who just gets it last. Lucky us. Yay.
And I guess
I want it first.
I guess this might be something along the lines of the fact that we don't actually love Oreos all that much here in Australia. It might have something to do with that.
Yeah, it could be. Obviously not an Australian product, Oreo, but it's very popular in America. I can't really see... Don't know if this is going to be a hugely popular thing, but I reckon it will because, you know, chocolate and a new product, but it's getting a lot of positive reaction, so that could be the good thing. The reason I wanted to talk about this though is because this isn't the only thing that has been released with the Cadbury Creme Egg. I want you to cast your mind back about a year ago. McDonald's, they released a product. It was a McFlurry with Cadbury Creme Egg.
Yeah, I do remember that actually.
And that proved to be a winning success. McDonald's, though, haven't revealed if they're going to be releasing it back.
Okay. Because
they have a bit of an association with Cadbury as well. But I'm hoping they do. Fingers are crossed. I'm not going to go there every day, but, you know, I want it badly. Cadbury, though, they've actually revealed how much it's going to be. So get ready to get your wallets ready. $4.80. For a couple of grams. So the 50 gram available, which gets you about 3 or 4 eggs, $4.80. So good deal, but you know, it's basically the same stuff. Cadbury cream chocolate, a bit of Oreo. I reckon we can make it ourselves.
Now, as far like they've got this hybrid started, right? You've got the Cadbury Creme Egg with the Oreo bits and all that kind of stuff. What else do you reckon you would like to see as far as the next hybrid Cadbury Creme Egg flavour tangent that they want to go on here?
Well, my favourite type of chocolate is M&M's. So I don't know if they could sort of do some sort of weird combination with them where it's the reverse, where it's like the M&M's as an entire block and in the middle is like Cadbury cream. I don't know. That's something I've always wanted to do is sort of M&M's and Cadbury cream or Cadbury in the form of chocolate. But I don't know. I haven't put a lot of thought into it. But anything to do with M&M's and I'm there.
I'm thinking...
That's my thing.
Considering Cadbury has their honeycomb chocolate bar in the crunchy, I'm thinking they might be able to do a little hybrid there and make the Cadbury Crunchy Creme Egg.
Ooh.
I reckon that would be quite nice. Honeycomb and a Cadbury Creme Egg. That'd be pretty good.
That'd be pretty good. Maybe they could bring back some of the chocolate bars they've got rid of or that are no longer in existence. What about the Polly Waffle? Do you remember the Polly Waffle?
Yeah.
Surely they could be bringing that back for, Easter. It's a perfect opportunity. It's only once a year. Bring it back for a couple of months and bring that in the form of some sort of Easter egg, I guess, and that would be a winning success.
And I think a controversial road to go down, Reid. What was something that Cadbury did recently, or not so recently, a little while ago now? They kind of put two flavours together that weren't seen in a very good light. Remember this one?
This didn't go down too well with a lot of people. I don't know what all the fuss was about because I actually didn't mind it, but I could probably understand why. It was Cadbury and Vegemite.
Yes. So, could there ever be a Cadbury Vegemite Creme Egg?
The mind sort of goes to a horrible place when I think about that, but I don't know if that's going to be a thing that could happen. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
It could be
who knows?
It could be a little too sickly salty and sweet at the same time, I reckon, that one.
Well, they've got to sell them, and there's always people willing to do these. They could target the YouTube prank market. I'm sure there'd be a lot of people who'd be up for the challenge to eat that type of product. So I reckon that's who they should be marketing it towards.
Well, if you want to check out more on this story, the full details are waiting for you right now at the Twitter account, at Weird News Weekly on Twitter. You'll find everything you need to know right there. But Reid, that wraps up another show for another week, our second one for the new year. I think we're up to episode 25 now or something like that, 24, 25. I'll have to actually count them up and see where we're at for this show so far, but we're going along pretty well at the moment.
There was a time where we would count every single episode and we would know how long the episodes would go for and how many episodes we did, but it's been a long time since we've done any of that sort of stuff.
We used to actually introduce the episodes as, this is episode 12 of Weird News Weekly, this is episode 13 of Weird News, and it just kind of died when we got to a point where we were just like, what was last week's again? I can't remember, let's just not even mention it.
They'll know, it's on the internet, they should know, people listening, they'll know.
Exactly. I could go through them right now and count them up, but I'm pretty sure that would just be wasted time to end the podcast, basically.
Hey, well, just Google it yourselves if you want to know what episode we're up to. You're smart people.
Well, if you want to follow along with the show, of course, make sure you do so at our Twitter account, at Weird News Weekly on Twitter. You'll find all the details about the article, all the details about the stories that we talked about right there, all the article source links and all that kind of stuff. Plus, if you want to watch the show, you can do so on YouTube at Weird News Weekly just search Weird News Weekly on YouTube and also on iTunes, Stitcher and SoundCloud. That's where you'll get the audio version of the show. Rate, review and subscribe in all those places right there. Reid, any final thoughts before we sign off for the week?
Yes, I might be investing a white lab coat and coming up with some weird and wacky creations for Easter-themed treats.
Yeah.
So I'll buy some products and I'll put them all together in a big blender and see what pops out. And it might be something delicious or it might be something which makes me go to the toilet every 5 minutes. I'll let you know.
As long as it involves M&Ms, I'm happy to give it a try.
Oh, there'll be nothing but M&Ms, I'm sure you. That'll be the front, the middle, and the bottom layer, all M&M related.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned for this week's show, I'm very lucky that my fiance is not a self-tanning person. At least I know one of my feet is never going to turn black because of self-tanner. That's always a good thing.
Although, that could be a good prank to play on you. So.
It could be, but then again, I don't wear socks to bed because I find it ridiculously uncomfortable. So you'd have to try and get me at another point of the day.
Quote, socks are ridiculously uncomfortable in bed.
Yeah.
Socks. It's not like you're wearing a trench coat in bed. I mean, they're just socks on your footsies.
No, but my feet get hot as it is when I'm in bed, and I often stick my feet out the end of the bed so I can kind of, keep them cool, especially at this time of the year when it's pretty hot at night. So I'm just kind of sliding my feet out of the bottom of the doona, just going, that's nice, they're cool again now. And with socks on...
They can breathe!
Yeah, with socks on, that doesn't happen, and even during winter, they get as hot as they usually are in summer when I've got no socks on.
They're all sort of screaming when you put your foot out of the bed. Yay! All the little foot Little toes on your foot.
But that is the show all said and done for this week, so we'll catch you next week. I've been Ben Rogers, this guy has been Reid Marnie, and we will catch you next time. See you, bye. Moist. Moist. Moist.
An emoji. An emoji. An emoji.